Hey everybody. All right, the book you guys chose for me to talk about was Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And this book changed my life. I may say that about a lot of books because like when books have an influence on me, they like have a deep influence on me. But this was one that was huge. I've heard about it for years and I finally was like, okay, I'm reading this book. So if you're not a morning person, I suggest picking it up. If you are a morning person, I suggest picking it up. There is so many concepts in here to start applying into your life, like in a simple way. You do not have to wake up at 4:30 to implement all of these. So first of all, I want to talk about, I have it on Audible. I'm a huge Audible fan. So I have it on Audible and I listened to it all on Audible first. And then I ended up buying the book because I was like, do I really need to buy this book? I ended up buying the book as well so that I could highlight to death. And one of the tricks I just taught other people was, I taught people in another group, is when I study something, what I do is I actually go through and I highlight everything first in the chapter, and then I go back and write why I highlighted it. So I would find a good spot. I like learned how to do this in this book. So let me find a good spot where I'm doing this. So I would take my highlighter, go through highlight all during that chapter, and then I would go back and I would write next to the highlighted sections why I highlighted it or why it applied to me. The more that I found that I mark up a book, the more I find that I am madly in love with books. So I highly suggest having this in hard copy and on Audible. Depends on what you do. But finish it. So good. So what Hal goes into is he talks about like how he got into like a deep part in his life where he was going through like a severe struggle financially. His business wasn't doing well. And he realized that one of the key things he needed to do was get in his personal development, but he didn't have enough time in his day. And so he was like assessing all these different ways he could get this time in. And the only time he could really come up with was the morning. And he even says in here, like, not the morning. Like I love my sleep and I'm going to sleep as long as possible. And when I started reading this book, I felt the same way. I was like, I'm going to sleep for as long as possible. I have babies. I cannot wake up early. Yada, yada, yada. I need 8 hours of sleep because scientific studies say so, etc., etc. So I made up all these excuses as why I couldn't do this, why it wasn't going to happen. And so he was making up those exact same excuses. And so what he found was he had to wake up early. He had to make the decision to wake up early. And so he started just waking up at 6 o'clock. Like he set his alarm, woke up at 6 o'clock and started implementing his personal development time. And he calls them the savers in this, which are silence, reading, affirmations, visualization, journaling, and exercise. So those are his savers, right? Savor. No, those are just the things he implements. The savers go in a different order. I'll go over those in a minute. Anyways, but he goes over those things, and that's what he was doing. And he found himself setting his time earlier and earlier because he actually enjoyed his time alone in the morning. And then he started coaching people in this, and he found that people's businesses began to grow. So the reason I decided to wake up early was I did it as an experiment. I wanted to see if it would increase my income. Okay, it sounds totally different. Like, like you can set your own goals for whatever. For me, I wanted to see if it increased my income, and it did. This book increased my income by $800 in 22 days. And it's because I was able to manage my time more efficiently. I did not start out in the morning as a crazy psycho mom. I was able to get on top of my day and be in control of it. And when you start out calm, everything around you stays more calm. Everything in this world can be more calm if you're more calm. So I also suggest pairing this with the 5-second rule, which I've talked about before. But I'll go into deeper about that. The 5-second rule is basically before your brain tells you not to wake up, you are sitting there counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you do it anyways. So don't if you struggle with waking up early, which I'm going to say is the majority of everybody, go through nope, my alarm is in a different room. I'm going to wake myself up and push myself forward. So the personal development that he goes over in this, he has each like a section for each of these. He talks about, I'm going to make sure I say them right this time, the savers, which is number 1 is silence. And sitting in silence and what that kind of does for you. But I love that silence does not have to be silent. Silence can be time for a prayer. It can be time, just a kind of quiet time where you're just kind of quieting your mind. It depends on what you need it to be. The next one's affirmations. And if you were in my mindset group, I actually did a really good live on, it was like a half an hour long, but it was really good on how to make affirmations work for you and not be like this woo-woo thing. I have had affirmations work for me, especially in this past week. I implemented a new affirmation and immediately started seeing results of just writing down that affirmation every day. So if you're interested in my mindset group, ask me about it. It's also the link in my bio. So affirmations, your brain already has affirmations. So you should be in control of what they are, because your brain will make affirmations whether or not you want it to. The other thing it goes into is visualization. Like every day you should be visualizing the goals you want and the goals you're putting in place. If you do not have a clear place you want to be, then you need to work on visualizing where you want to be. The next one was exercise. You should be taking time to exercise daily. And I loved in this, like I am currently doing a program, but I love that all he did was like a minute of push-ups. Like it does not have to be, and you don't have to do a minute of push-ups. It could literally be like taking a 5-minute walk on your treadmill. It could be lifting some weights, whatever you feel like you need to do. Exercise. Just start with getting your body moving, especially in the morning. Reading. R is for reading, so savers. R is for reading, taking time to do personal development. The reason I read so many books is because I want to learn from those that are smarter than me. Like, if I'm going to be like the rich people or be like the the people that are like on top of things, I've got to like read their words and live like them. So reading should be an important part of your day that you're implementing. And S is for scribing. So taking time to journal, taking time to write, because I've learned that when I write things down, I'm more on top of things than ever before. One of my favorite chapters in this book is the 7-minute miracle morning. So just waking up 7 minutes than you usually do and spending time doing the savers, and it's just 1 minute per thing. So if you are not ready to commit yourself to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, do not commit yourself to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. You will fail. You will fail. You will fail hardcore, and then you will not continue to move forward. So what I suggest doing is wake up 10 minutes before you're used to and get going on your day and put these into practice just a little bit. And what happens is your brain will sense that, oh, that was a really good thing. Like that was an amazing thing for me. Okay, I want a little bit more time to read. I love starting my morning without chaos. Okay, I'm going to jump into this again. So you're rewarding yourself by just giving yourself the 10 minutes, just starting over and over. Like I loved my 10 minutes. Oh, I want 20. So start small. The other big thing I learned in here that was huge for me is your body needs as much sleep as you're telling it. So last night I went to bed at like 10:30, I want to say, almost 11. So I got about 5 hours of sleep last night consistently. And I was like, I'm still going to wake up at 4:30. Mondays are like busy for me. So I'm like, I'm still going to wake up at 4:30. I've got crap to do. I've got to make this happen. And I was fine when I got up at 5. I was totally fine when I got up at 5. Or when I got up with 5 hours of sleep. What you tell your brain when you go to sleep is what you're going to wake up with. So if you set your alarm and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm only going to get 7 hours of sleep. Oh my gosh, I'm only going to get, then your brain will wake up in the morning going, oh, see, I only got this little of sleep. And your brain will tell yourself it wasn't enough. You have to be in charge of that and saying, I cannot wait to wake up in the morning. Anyways, those were just a few of the amazing things in this book. Highly suggest reading it. I will put the link to the book for Amazon in my bio. Thanks, everybody.